channel. This morning I'm going to be making a roasted squash soup. I may throw in a couple other veggies, but usually what I'll do is just squash and then some onion, garlic, herbs, spices, and veggie broth. Today I might put in a couple carrots, so I'll see what I feel like. So what you're gonna do is just like have your squash. It's just like the squash you grew up, your like parents making. It's really easy. My girlfriend puts thyme in hers, I'm pretty sure. I think it's thyme, which tastes amazing. So I'm probably gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna use Butternut bullion, and I'm gonna roast these. I usually do about like 375 to 395, just depending on how big the squash is. I'm gonna do 2 though, because my kids love this so much, and it's just easier to do it once and then have a big batch. So what I'm gonna start doing is just cut them in half and then take out our seeds, drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of garlic powder, and put them in the oven. Okay, so I have my squash all cut in half. I'm just gonna scoop out the seeds and then put them onto the pan. So I put a little bit of fresh oregano and fresh rosemary, and I'm just gonna add some of the thyme to it. And then I will add a little bit of sea salt. And then garlic powder. Oops, that was a lot of it. You don't want to use too much because of the bullion though. This will just help with enhancing this flavor. And now I'm going to add a little bit of the garlic powder. And you can totally skip this step and just add it to your broth when you're sauteing the onions and stuff, but I just wanted to do it now. Okay, I stuck the squash in the oven and I'm going to cook them for an hour. I'm going to start at 475 and then just come check on them halfway through. You can flip them over as well, but I wanted the effect of the spices on top. Sometimes when you flip them over, it just creates like more moisture inside. And I want this way so I can create a more roasted flavor, but either way it'll work out fine. Okay, while the butternut squash is roasting, I'm going to get started on chopping up some onion and some garlic. Because I'm doing an extra batch, I might use like 1.5 onions, and then I'm going to use about maybe 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, and then I'm going to take my better than bullion and use that in the broth. So I'll just add this with some water once they are sauteed, add a little bit more fresh spice, and get that all together in a pot. Okay, so the big ones cooked not as quickly, so I just flipped them all over and I'm going to let them roast a little bit more. You could just do this straight from the beginning, but either way it just might need a little bit longer if the squash itself is bigger. Okay, in my pan of warm oil, I'm going to put in my chopped up onions and garlic.
Do you ever feel you don't get out what you're putting in?
So in with the garlic and onion, I'm going to add some more thyme, a little bit of the garlic powder, and we'll let that cook just for a little bit. So my squash is completely soft and ready, so what I'm going to do is just flip them over and then I will scoop them out. These big ones are still a little bit tender, but we'll cook a little bit in the pan too.
With a wedding ring. Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscious. Different things in different ways.
Okay, so literally just take your spoon and scoop out the squash and add it to the pot. Another thing that I do, which I sometimes like to do like more with butternut squash soup, is just actually cube it up before and then roast it that way, and you can just like put it in the pot that way. It's a little bit easier, just because I don't like to wait for these to cool. Oops. But totally up to you guys what you do. Either way it will turn out wonderfully. Once you have it all in your pot, you're going to start by adding you can use broth or bullion and then bring it to a boil. Okay, so take your soup and then just put it right into your Vitamix. If you guys don't have a Vitamix, like any processor or blender will work. I do love my Vitamix though and use it like 100 times a day. I saved up for my first one for so long because they are very expensive, and then I've also had the opportunity to work with Vitamix in the past. So I feel lucky for that, but truthfully I did invest in my first one myself and I feel like it was worth every single dollar. I used it so much. I'm steaming up here. I used it so much and I just couldn't recommend one more. I'm making such a mess videotaping and doing this, but that's fine. So we'll just keep adding it all into here.
Who will pick you up when you've lost everything? Does it all become for granted with a wedding ring?
The last thing I'm gonna do is add some pepper, just fresh pepper. And I probably will add some more liquid to mine to make it less thin, but Arrow likes it thick and so does Harlow. Okay, this is the finished product. I just added a little bit of cashew cream on top, but you can totally skip that step. I just blended cashews with water and a little bit of garlic and then put it on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you love this recipe. Make sure to like this video and leave me a comment below.
Are all in vain.